Hey guys, welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons Homebrew Builds, the series where I'll be constructing classes, weapons, races, and more, based on characters and items from your favorite anime, comics, TV shows, and video games. Today we're going to be releasing the second set of subclasses for the Soul Reaper Homebrew build class we constructed last episode, so if you want the base class as well as subclasses for Byakuya, Toshiro Hitsugaya, Sajin Komamura, and Shunsui Kyoraku, go check out that video first. For those of you who have already watched that episode, or for those of you that are for some reason not interested in the rest of the Soul Reaper class, save for a handful of subclass features, today we're going to be constructing subclasses for the Soul Reaper class inspired by the Thousand-Year Blood War The Thirst banner of Bleach Brave Souls. We'll be constructing subclasses for Kenpachi Zaraki, Yachiru Unohana, and Yachiru Kusajishi. Pretty decent timing considering one of the most recent and hypest episodes of the new anime was the clash between Kenpachi and Yachiru, of which the banner The Thirst is literally made to represent. In any case, this episode should be short and simpler to get out to you guys, since I'll just be counting 25 features. Pretty simple, seeing as I don't even have to do hit points, proficiencies, and class features for the overarching class, but without further delay, let's just get into it.
その力の名前はね、挽回だよ。
So to knock out the two pre-subclass changes to features that are affected by your subclass, for Soul Trait, the following subclasses get the following bonuses. Kenpachi. All special Zanpakuto weapon attack damage rolls are increased by plus 20%. At 20th level, any damage you deal while at full hit points is increased by plus 16%. Yachiru Unohana. All damage you take is reduced by 16%. At 20th level, your melee weapon attacks deal plus 16% more damage. Yachiru Kusajishi. Your special Zanpakuto weapon attack cooldown is reduced by 1 round. At 20th level, you regain 16% of your maximum hit points after completing a combat encounter. The only thing of note here is that, for Yachiru's Transcendent Soul Trait, the one she gets at 20th level, I didn't really know what to do with her regaining health when moving to the next mission area because there isn't anything like that in D&D. So I just had her heal after every combat encounter, so the skill is better than it is in BBS, but that's gonna happen every now and then, and the opposite is equally as possible, because shit happens when you're making conversions and compromises. For the 6th level Flash Step feature, Kenpachi can Flash Step once per bonus action, Yachiru Unohana can Flash Step twice per bonus action, and Yachiru Kusajishi can Flash Step twice per bonus action. So yeah, I remember that people were pretty salty about Kenpachi not getting Flash Step plus 1, but it's lore accurate since he's trash at Flash Step in canon and they fixed it in his Transcendence anyway. Everyone, in my opinion, was being a big baby when they blew it out of proportions. I personally would much rather the character be accurate and interesting than the same carbon copy cutout Flash Step plus 1 on every character, at the cost of said character's lore accuracy, which gives them individuality and makes them more than a bunch of code people spend real-life money for. Anyway, moving on to subclass features, we now have 3 new subclasses, and the Shikai/Bankai features for said new subclasses. Also, be warned, there will be spoilers for the future of the anime. First, Kenpachi Zaraki, the man himself. Kenpachi inherits his name after his fight with Unohana in the Muken, the lowermost level of the Soul Society's central underground great prison. After the duel, he hears his sword speak, and then he releases it in the battle against the Quincy's. With Yachiru's guidance, he is finally able to achieve Bankai. Okay, so pretty clear cut. This is Kenpachi from the Unohana fight to the Gerard fight when he unlocks his Bankai. So that's his in-game description and his D&D subclass description. Now, in order to be Kenpachi during this period, we'll need a Shikai. And what else could do that for us but Nozarashi? At 7th level, you unlock your Shikai. In its release state, Nozarashi possesses tremendous attack power. Its cutting power is also greatly enhanced, allowing you to effortlessly cut through the bodies of your opponents and even through space itself. This feature grants you 3 special Zanpakuto weapon attack options you can use while wielding your Zanpakuto. Special Zanpakuto Weapon Attack 1. You can slash upward, causing an eruption of Reiatsu, flip forward, and smash your blade downward, causing an additional explosion of Reiatsu as an attack action. Your initial upward slash deals 2d6 slashing damage. All creatures within 10 feet of you must make a dexterity saving throw. Those creatures take 1d6 force damage or half as much on a successful save. You then flip 5 feet forward without invoking an attack of opportunity, and slam your blade into the ground. Your downward slash deals 2d6 slashing damage, and all creatures within 10 feet of you must make a dexterity saving throw. Those creatures take 1d6 force damage, or half as much on a successful save. This skill has a 1-round cooldown. Special Zanpakuto Weapon Attack 2. You can perform a fast left-to-right slash as an attack action. Because of the Reiatsu produced by your powerful swings, any creature within 15 feet of you must make a dexterity saving throw. Creatures within melee attack range take 2d6 slashing damage per attack, or 2d6 force damage per attack for those outside of it. The dexterity saving throw can be made for both attacks separately. This attack has a 3-round cooldown. Zanpakuto Weapon Attack 3. You can slice with such power you sever space itself. Creatures within 200 feet of you take 3d6 slashing damage as you cleave through the very space in which they exist. This skill has a 4-round cooldown. At 9th level, your Zanpakuto's damage die increases to a d8. At 13th level, your Zanpakuto's damage die increases to a d10. I don't remember if the first 2 attacks are references to specific attacks Ken did, but that third strong attack is clearly in reference to when he fought Gremmy and sliced the man in 2 through a hole in space. So enjoy being the man that can cut through anything with a massive fuck-off Buster Blade Nozarashi. On to the Woman of the Hour with Yachiru Unohana. The original captain of Squad 11 and the first Kenpachi, she learned the healing arts so that she could forever enjoy fighting. She gave herself the name Yachiru, or 8,000 Styles, to demonstrate her mastery of the sword. Okay, side tangent, I cannot tell you guys how hyped I am for the eventual release of the original 13 Court Guard squads in BBS, but for now, I'm glad to be making a homebrew subclass for one of my favorite captains in the entire series. Old Guard or new, and the character that almost single-handedly got me back into Bleach via sheer badass factor. With Yachiru Unohana's 8,000 Styles, at 7th level, you reawaken the bloodlust and killing techniques within you that made you the fearsome first Kenpachi. This feature grants you 3 special Zanpakuto weapon attack options you can use while wielding your Zanpakuto. Special Zanpakuto Weapon Attack 1. You can dash 10 feet forward, slashing through everything within 10 feet of you without invoking an opportunity attack. Hostile creatures within range must make a dexterity saving throw. They take 3d6 slashing damage, or half as much on a successful save. This skill has a 1-round cooldown. Special Zanpakuto Weapon Attack 2. You can throw a dozen special daggers you can generate an infinite number of at a point within 5 feet of you in an area of 15 feet around centered on your chosen point. The daggers deal 3d6 piercing damage to any hostile creature within their area of effect, or half as much on a successful dexterity saving throw. When you use this attack, you are healed for 20% of your maximum hit points. This skill has a 5-round cooldown. Special Zanpakuto Weapon Attack 3. You can unleash a flurry of sword slashes comprised of your entire 8,000 style arsenal in an area of 200 feet. Any hostile creature within range takes 4d6 slashing damage, or half as much on a successful dexterity saving throw. This skill has a 4-round cooldown. At 9th level, your Zanpakuto's damage die is increased to a d8. At 13th level, your Zanpakuto's damage die is increased to a d10. So with Yachiru, her source of power is her sheer power, skill, and ruthlessness with the blade. The irony of Yachiru and Zaraki is that both of them are so deadly, they can slaughter hundreds with an unreleased Zanpakuto. We have her sword deadliness in her dash strong attack and her third strong attack where she goes on a fucking blitzing fast rampage, slicing through everything within a mile of her with her 8,000 styles of lethal swordswomanship, and that little dagger trick she pulled on Kenpachi in their fight, which in BBS also heals. To bring our 7th level subclasses to a close, the little girl that'll decide a battle yet to be fought in the anime, Yachiru Kusajishi. Separated from Kenpachi, Yachiru fights against the Quincy's with the help of Moko Moko and Hone Hone. Later, she disappears once Kenpachi releases his Shikai. I'll admit, I didn't know their names were Moko Moko and Hone Hone, I've always just called them Front Beast and Back Beast. Speaking of, with Front Beast and Back Beast, you activate your Zanpakuto's true power as you stand alone, for the first time as the right hand of the strongest. This feature grants you 3 special Zanpakuto weapon attack options you can use while wielding your Zanpakuto. Zanpakuto Weapon Attack. When you attack, Front Beast and Back Beast attack with you. Your Zanpakuto's attack range is extended by 5 feet to the left of the blade, to the right of the blade, and in front of the blade. Due to Front Beast and Back Beast being invisible even to those that can normally see souls and manifested Zanpakuto spirits, any attacks made with your Zanpakuto are rolled at advantage. Special Zanpakuto Weapon Attack 1. You can roll forward 5 feet, slashing downward at everything within range of your blades, without invoking an opportunity attack, and following up with a somersault downward slash another 5 feet forward, again slashing anything within range. Hostile creatures within range of the first part of the attack must make a dexterity saving throw. They take 1d6 slashing damage or half as much on a successful save. Hostile creatures within range of the second part of the attack must make a dexterity saving throw. They take 2d6 slashing damage or half as much on a successful save. This skill has a 1-round cooldown. Special Zanpakuto Weapon Attack 2. You can spin around and lunge forward 10 feet, slicing into ribbons anything within 5 feet of you as you dash, with this dash not provoking any attacks of opportunity. The slashes during the dash deal 2d6 slashing damage to any hostile creature within their area of effect, or half as much on a successful dexterity saving throw. At the point at which your dash ends, you, Front Beast, and Back Beast launch 3 reishi slashes simultaneously that continue on an additional 5 feet after the end of the dash. The slashes of Front Beast and Back Beast are angled to the left and right of yours respectively, making the 3 slashes together fire in a 30-foot wide cone. The slashes fired after the dash deal 2d6 slashing damage or half as much on a successful dexterity saving throw. This skill has a 3-round cooldown. Special Zanpakuto Weapon Attack 3. You can briefly summon Front Beast and Back Beast to materialize and perform a downward slash in tandem with you as an action, bifurcating anything in an area of 200 feet around you. Any hostile creature within range takes 46 slashing damage, or half as much on a successful dexterity saving throw. This skill has a 4-round cooldown. At 9th level, your Zanpakuto's damage die is increased to a d8, and at 13th level, your Zanpakuto's damage die is increased to a d10. Considering Yachiru has exactly one single fight in the entire series, I think they did a good job of making her into a character. That said, people didn't really like her when she first came out because she didn't have Flurry, which would have been good for her damage, but I like her for 3 reasons. 1, of all the characters on the banner, she was the last and hardest for me to get, so I appreciate her since it was difficult for me to get her. 2, she's a pretty fun character all things considered, even if she isn't statistically the best. And 3, I'm a contrarian, so I like her because everyone else doesn't. At 9th level, well, simply put, all 3 subclasses get long reach. Kenpachi gets a plus 20% long reach extension, Unohana gets a plus 20% reach bonus as well, and of course Yachiru gets, well, you guessed it, a plus 20% boost to her reach. Now, we get the rest of our upgrade skill features in a bit, but 14th level gives us our ultimate Zanpakuto weapon attacks. Anyway, at 14th level, you can release your Bankai, transforming into an animalistic, savage creature with blood-red skin and horns protruding out of your forehead, and attack, inflicting immense damage to any enemy you hit. You slash a creature with such unbridled force, all creatures within 400 feet are blasted with a wave of wind, kinetic energy, and Reiatsu. The creature you slash takes 5d10 slashing damage, and all other creatures within range take 5d10 force damage or half as much on a successful dexterity save. For the next 30 seconds, you retain your transformation. You gain the following benefits while transformed. Your normal Zanpakuto weapon attacks deal an additional die of damage. Your first special Zanpakuto weapon attacks damage increases to 2d10 on the second strike. Your second special Zanpakuto weapon attacks damage increases to 3d10 for both slashes. And your third special Zanpakuto weapon attacks damage gains an additional d10 for the spatial slash. When Yachiru Kusujishi is used, all special Zanpakuto weapon attack cooldowns are reduced to 0. This can only be used 3 times per long rest. So it's not particularly special as ultimate attacks go, but it's gonna be so fucking cool to be fucking tearing through everything as Bankai Kenpachi. If I had built the class based on the manga or anime, I'd have added some of Barbarian's Berserker subclass features so that he can, intimidate and be immune to frightening and charming and all that, but whatever, it is what it is. Now, for what is to me, one of the coolest Bankai, at least in BBS, tied with the likes of Katen Kyokatsui Karamatsu Shinju, Bankai Minazuki. Zakyou wa kore nite oshimai. You can unleash the power of your Bankai, which, when released, liquefies into a thick, viscous, dark red substance that flows over your vicinity. Once the majority of the liquid flows off of the Zanpakuto, the remainder solidifies into a shortened katana that you use to dash toward a creature within 20 feet of you and perform 2 melee weapon attacks on them. The liquid unleashed by Minazuki functions as an extremely strong acid, capable of reducing a creature to a skeleton within seconds of making contact with their body. Your Bankai heals you and your teammates, inflicts immense damage, and has a very small chance to instantly kill. When you activate this ultimate Zanpakuto weapon attack, you deal 4d10 acid damage to any hostile creature within 400 feet of you or half as much on a successful dexterity saving throw. When you use this attack, you heal yourself and friendly creatures within range for 60% of your maximum hit points. And any creature that takes damage from this attack must make a Constitution saving throw. If they fail, they die outright. This can only be used 3 times per long rest. Her Bankai is a little different from most of the others, and more along the lines of, ironically, Shunsui's Bankai, in that since the attack in BBS doesn't necessarily line up with its cutscene, in the cutscene it's a dash and a double slash, but the damage hits everything, I modified the feature so that she makes 2 melee weapon attacks and the acid of her Bankai melts everything around her. Also, while it's not outright said, it goes without saying that the 2 melee weapon attacks deal acid damage. Other than that, awesome team healing, our only team healing option pre-medic, and insta-kill chance. With Yachiru Kusajishi, the character not the Bankai, we get, of course, Sanpo Kenju, the Shikai of a living, breathing Bankai. Yeah, still haven't figured that one out myself, but it's cool that Moko Moko and Hone Hone cameo in Kenpachi's BBS exclusive Beyond Bankai form. Like, maybe the theories were right, maybe they really are just another extended aspect of Kenpachi's own Bankai or Zanpakuto or whatever. With Sanpo Kenju, you, Front Beast, and Back Beast can attack together, inflicting immense damage to anything you all hit. You, Front Beast, and Back Beast slash a creature with the extended range of the 3 slashes, increasing to 400 feet in every direction. All hostile creatures within range take 5d10 slashing damage or half as much on a successful dexterity saving throw. This can only be used 3 times per long rest. Pretty basic, an amped version of her Strong Attack 3, and yes, the Ready Go dance the trio does is required. Always. Like a verbal and somatic component. Now, let's wrap up with the features that'll strengthen our characters rather than just giving us cool transformations and powerful attacks. 15th level gives Kenpachi and Yachiru Bruiser, and Unohana gets Berserker. So the damage dealt by your Zanpakuto weapon attacks for Ken and Yachiru is increased by 20% and 30% respectively, whereas Unohana's special Zanpakuto weapon attacks now deal 30% more damage. 17th level gives Ken Frenzy, which doubles your special Zanpakuto weapon attack damage. Unohana gets Flurry, so melee attacks now hit twice. She starts becoming more of a meta-goddess beast at around this point. And Yachiru gets a plus 40% bonus to her special Zanpakuto weapon attacks. 18th level plays to everybody's specialty. Ken gets Devastation, Unohana gets Medic, and Yachiru gets Bombardment. Devastation gives Kenpachi a plus 40% bonus to his ultimate Zanpakuto weapon attack, to give him the power to bifurcate Gerard and fling him across an entire city with sheer power alone. Medic allows Unohana to team heal with her special attacks instead of having to rely solely on the ultimate attack for team healing. So it's gonna happen way more often. And Yachiru's Bombardment doubles the amount of damage die your Sanpo Kenju deals, allowing her to become the nuker that she is in BBS, and as an extension, so will you. At the capstone level for our subclasses, our Kenpachis get Poise, and our little Moe Zanpakuto gets Weak in Defense. These two, Kenpachi and Unohana, were 2 of the characters I was talking about in last video. 2 people that aren't invincible like Sajin, yet also get Poise. Just like last time, no stun, no prone, no move, which absolutely fits these 2 unstoppable monsters. As for Yachiru's Weak in Defense, ironically, while it making enemies take more damage plays into Yachiru's niche in BBS, it dropping AC in D&D plays to her niche as I've built her in the subclass. Her whole deal is being able to hit enemies because of Front Beast and Back Beast extending her range. If you don't really understand what I mean and either don't care about spoilers or have already read all of the 1000-Year Blood War arc, go read or reread Yachiru's fight and see how many times she hits her enemy, that will not be named to avoid spoilers of any kind, despite their whole deal being that they can avoid attacks really well as a byproduct of their special power. Alright, and with that, we can put a stamp on this variant Soul Reaper build with the capstone feature of this class, Transcendence. Let's see what our little psychos are getting. Kenpachi, ever the definition of the Hulk mixed with Gotrek from Warhammer, gets Berserker, which amps his strong attack damage by 20%, and Havoc, which boosts his strong attack range by plus 20%. So we can hit things harder and hit more things at once. If only we had some way to get to the things we hit quicker. Oh wait, he gets Sprinter plus 1. There, you happy now, you infants? Now, Unohana's a bit strange, so I'll start from least useful overall to most useful. Ignore invincibility basically makes it so that, regardless as to any shields or spells or armors, your attacks always at least have a chance to hit and deal some damage. But only if you're fighting a PC or a player-controlled character. I do not want anybody to think that this is my endorsing PvP in D&D. Yes, their acronyms sound similar, and I do think that players should be allowed to do whatever they want, but D&D as a system works best when all player characters work together to kill monsters. So use this skill to its full effect at your own risk, because you're gonna wish you had Unohana to heal you when your player character versus player character becomes player versus player and your table teams up to stomp your shit in. Next is increased normal attack damage while at half health. It's good because you're a frontline damage dealer, so you're likely to get this plus 30% bonus to your normal attacks. Better yet, since Unohana is a NAD character in BBS and that somewhat translates. As a matter of fact, it's good for the same reasons that Shunsui's more damage at full health really isn't. But she's a healer. She literally heals enough hit points with just her strong attack 2 alone that she likely won't be a low half health too often or for too long. So unlike Toshiro's more damage to frozen enemies that'll proc practically all the time, I don't imagine this useful buff will activate many times per session. Finally, your Berserker gets boosted from a 30% bonus to a 40% bonus, which can never be a bad thing since strong attacks are the fun part of the characters, and hitting harder when you're healing with that second strong attack is always a nice little panache for your playtime. Yachiru, to close us off, is all about that damage, with Berserker getting bumped up to a 50% and Bruiser getting bumped up to 40%. She's definitely going to be hitting a hell of a lot harder. Keeping to her nuke roll, she gets a plus 20% devastation to hit even harder with her ultimate weapon attack. They really gave her the Byakuya treatment, didn't they? Bringing us to a close for this fun video, we unfortunately get another damage boost at full health. Now for Yachiru, it's not as bad. See, since Yachiru heals after every combat encounter, and by a fair bit, it probably won't be as uncommon for Yachiru to actually be able to use this plus 20% bonus to her attacks. Alright ladies and gentlemen, that's our The Thirst. I hope this was able to scratch that The Drop episode itch that I'm certain some of you had after that astonishing episode of Bleach. Let me know if it did, and if you guys liked it, let me know by leaving a like, a comment about how you liked it, and maybe consider a subscribe and hitting that notification bell. Well, I've been the ultimate embodiment of YouTube, and this has been Dungeons & Dragons Homebrew Builds. Thanks for watching. Peace.